Hello everybody, welcome to this verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today's class is a speaking class with some reading too. Our topic today is, are you highly sensitive? What is sensitivity? And have you heard of this idea of people being highly sensitive before? We're going to read an article from psychology.com. Nope, it's not, it's Huffington Post. All about high sensitivity and what these kind of people are like. So perhaps you feel that you fit this category, or somebody you know, or perhaps you've just never heard of it before and want to find out more about it. So do come along in and join us as we talk about this issue today. While we're waiting for everybody, if you are new to verbling, you might be unaware that there are a few little helpful things that you can do in your free time. One of them is to visit my Verbling Teacher Facebook page. If you like Facebook and you want to keep in touch with some teachers, then you might want to like a few of us on Facebook. But probably the most helpful of the pages is my Verbling Teacher page, or the Verbling Teacher page of any of the other teachers, because this is where you can find out more info about all of us. So if you are interested in finding out more about one of the teachers, go ahead and check out their Verbling Teacher page. What you can find there is a variety of different things. One of the most important is probably the timetable, so you can see when the upcoming classes and tutoring slots are for a particular teacher. But you can also, excuse me, watch our introductory videos and some class excerpt videos, and see who we are, where we've taught, what our experience is. And if there's anything else that you do want to know, you can write us a message from the Verbling Teacher page using the messaging feature. So if you've never checked that out, you might want to go and do that at some point today. Okay, so back to the class. As I mentioned before, if you've just joined us, this is a class about high sensitivity or highly sensitive people. We're going to read an article from Huffington Post and we're going to discuss this interesting topic. So let's see who we've got for class today. So first of all, let's say hello to Alaz.
Hi there.
Hello, nice to meet you, Alaz. Am I saying your name right or wrong?
Yes, I'm spelling right.
Great, excellent. Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
From Turkey, wonderful. And tell me, why are you learning English?
I need English in my working life, my social life. My life needs English. I need
Your life needs English.
Yes.
That's a great reason. Sorry?
I love English too.
Excellent, that's an even better reason, Alaz. So, awesome, lovely to meet you. So how long have you been learning on Verbling?
It's about 2 weeks.
How's it going? Everything okay?
Yes, it's fun and it's very informative for me.
Excellent, I'm very glad to hear that. Well, it's lovely to meet you. Welcome to the class. Anna, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for asking. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Any exciting news to share with us?
No, I'm going to Rio.
Wow, exciting! Yeah, a little trip.
But I've been doing it all the time. I have an apartment there.
Ah, okay. So it's your usual thing to do. Is it like a holiday apartment, or is it you spend some time living there? Okay.
No, it's a holiday apartment. We used to rent it, but the tenants left the apartment, and we decided to use it to spend the holidays. But now it seems that someone is interested in renting, and my husband is torn, unfortunately, because Yes, can't you hear me?
No, it just suddenly disappeared for a minute there.
Okay, I was saying that the tenants left the apartment and we decided to use it to spend the holidays. But someone seems to be interested in renting, and unfortunately, my husband is storm, and I think unfortunately because I'd like to keep the apartment to spend the holidays.
I see, I see. So you're having a disagreement about whether you should re-rent it or whether you should keep it for holidays.
Yes.
Oh, well, I think that's quite a big decision. I hope you managed to talk it through okay, Anna.
We we will. We have a system.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. All right, well, best of luck with that. Welcome to the class. Jose, hello. How are you?
Hello, Amy. I'm doing
Good
very
to
well.
see
Thanks for asking. And you?
I'm also doing very well, thanks, Jose.
Okay.
So tell me about your news. Got any news to tell us?
No, nothing special. It was a normal day.
It's been a normal day?
Yes, yes, of course.
Just work and regular stuff?
Yes,
And
it's a regular stuff. Yes,
yeah, regular
and
stuff, so nothing special.
nothing special.
All right, well that's good. At least nothing unspecial has happened. There's no such word as unspecial. Okay, Ksenia, hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm well, thank you.
Excellent. How are you going?
Everything is fine, I think.
Same old? Same as Jose?
Same old. I think so.
All right, and how's your verbling studying going? Do you think you're improving your English?
Yes, I think so. I think I'm improving day
Awesome.
after day. It will be better, I think, in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hard to measure your progress when you're learning a language sometimes because it's such small little things that just gently build up. But sometimes it is worth looking back and thinking, could I have done this or said this, a month or two ago? And it helps you feel a bit more inspired to carry on when you realize actually you are improving. So great to have you both. Philip.
Thank you.
Yes, teacher. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. How's everything going?
Smoothly.
Smoothly. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
Wonderful. I was just going to say that everyone's having a gentle moment of their lives, except for Anna, but she's just got a small issue that I'm sure she'll be able to deal with. So that's awesome. You don't have any news to tell us, Philip?
Not for today. Today, all is
Not
normal.
today.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. So we're going to get straight on with our article in a mo. I'm just going to say hello to the last student, and sorry, I can't see your name, and I can't remember what your name is.
My name is Omar.
Okay, how do I say that? Roma?
I will write.
Thank you, very appreciated. Yes. Omar, okay, great.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Omar. It's
No problem.
I haven't seen you that many times and I forgot. Because your name's in Arabic, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
And I can't write Arabic or read it.
Yeah.
But lovely to see you anyway. And tell us how things are going for you.
Okay, I don't have something I will do in my life. I just waiting the university to start to organize my days and my life.
Your schedule. So you're kind of in a waiting
Yes.
period before uni.
Yes.
And what are you going to study, Omar?
I'm pharmacy. Yes, I study the medicine.
Yeah.
And specialized in pharmacy.
Brilliant. That's exciting. So how many years left do you have of study to do?
Sorry?
How many more years do you have to study for?
5 years.
5 more years, so that's quite a long time. And is this your first year of doing pharmacy? Will it be your first year?
I will beginning after 3 weeks.
Okay, in 3 weeks.
Yes.
In 3 weeks.
Yes, in 3 weeks. Yes.
Brilliant. Well, I hope it goes really well if I don't see you before. So it's lovely to have all of you and see you today. Our topic is sensitivity, and we are going to go to read the article today because I think it's kind of a lot of interesting stuff in there. But before we start, I just want to ask you guys, what do you think when you saw this class title? Did you think, oh, that's right, I know all about sensitivity, or did you think, I wonder what sensitivity is talking about? Do any of you have kind of a preconception of what we might be talking about today, or would like to say, you know, what you think sensitivity actually is? Who would like to comment?
I think I thought that it can be very interesting for me because I consider myself a sensitive person.
Okay.
So it will be interesting.
Great. So, Ksenia, when you say you consider yourself as a sensitive person, in what way do you feel you are sensitive?
I think my reaction on some situation is different from others. Maybe when some people can stay calm, I can cry or something like that.
Okay, so like maybe situations that happen in life, your reaction is different, or you react to things differently than others that you perceive.
Yes.
Okay, good point. So thanks for starting us off. So perhaps different reactions, and maybe you'll be thinking this about yourself. Anyone else like to make any comments? Anna, go ahead and tell me what you just wrote, because it's a good point.
I don't know. I didn't answer your question because I'd like to know what you mean by
What it
sensitive.
is referring to, right?
Yes, emotional or like a medium, you know, something like that.
Like extrasensory perception.
Yes,
Like that.
yes.
Okay, well that's a good point. What do you think? Because we haven't defined it really, and we are going to read an article, but I'm not going to give anything away about that. So what do you think? Do you think sensitivity could refer to, you know, being psychic, or no?
I'm torn. If it means to be sensitive, no, if it means to be emotional, I am overly emotional, but I've been working on it, you know. Because sometimes it can cause problems, you know. Because if you react emotionally to something, then afterwards it can be too late to regret, because you cannot go to the past and withdraw things that you have said, or you know.
Yeah.
And I am like Katsena. I cry a lot watching movies and so on. And I even my gosh, how can I say? I have a soft spot for tearjerker movies, because sometimes it is good to have a good cry. Yes, because you feel better later.
Absolutely. Thanks, Anna. All right, so you two girls have maybe mentioned similar things. What about the boys? Jose, Alaz, Philip, Omar? Any of you like to comment? Do you think sensitivity is only reserved for females?
No, for males too. I think when there are a slight change can affect in one way or in another way, depending on the person.
Yep.
Sometimes the person is more sensitive or less sensitive.
Absolutely. So there's a different levels of sensitivity, okay?
Some persons are more susceptible to slight differences.
Sorry, Jose, you've got to say you've got God behind you repeating all your words. Could you just repeat the last thing that you said?
Yes, some persons are more susceptible when there are slight differences.
Yeah, so there are differences, that's absolutely
Yes.
true, I'm sure. Like there are with all different types of personality and human issues, I guess. All right, so anyone else like to comment before we start reading? No? All right, well, we're going to be pausing as we go through this to see what we think of what we are reading. So if you'd like to click on the link, you can access the page that we're going to be looking at. I'm sharing my screen here. And it gives you a bit of an introduction. So we're just going to dive straight in and start reading. And then once we've read the intro, before we get to the 16 habits, we might just pause and see what we think. So if you're new to a class with me, then this is how it works. I'll get you to read a paragraph or two, depending on the length. And after each section, we will stop to pause because I'll make any corrections to your pronunciation or help if you've had any issues. And then we'll just open it to the other students in case anyone would like to ask anything about the words they don't understand or general meaning. And then we might have a talk about it or we might carry on. So, because you're at the front of the list, Alaz, it is your chance to start fast.
Okay.
Could you read the title, please?
16 Habits of Highly Sensitive People.
Great. So we all know what that means, I think. A habit is something that you do regularly. So let's carry on, Alaz, and if you could read down to here, please.
Do you feel like you reflect on things more than anyone else? Do you find yourself worrying about how other people feel? Do you prefer quieter, less chaotic environments? If the above sound true to you, you may be highly sensitive. The personality traits, which was first researched by Alan and Aaron, PhD, in the early 1990s, is relatively common, with as many as 1 in 5 people possessing it. Aaron, who has written multiple studies and books on high sensitivity, including the highly sensitive person, also developed a self-test, which you can take here to help you determine if you are highly sensitive.
Thank you, Alaz. That was beautiful reading. Perfect. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Vocab or meaning? No?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know the meaning of this chaotic.
Chaotic. Less chaotic.
Yes. Chaotic.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, this word is the adjective of the word chaos. So would anyone like to explain what does chaos or chaotic mean?
May I?
Yes.
Full of turmoils,
Anna said full of
confusion.
turmoil, Anna. Turmoil.
Turmoil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Confusion.
Yep.
It is disorder.
Thank you. Yep, disorder, confusion, turmoil. It's like a big crazy mess. It's like the opposite of being organized and ordered and tidy. Okay, Omar?
Yes, okay.
Great. Any other questions? No? Just want to say hi to Raphael, who's just joined us. Hey, Raphael.
Hi, Amy.
Welcome. We just started reading, so you haven't actually missed anything. We're talking about high sensitivity.
Okay.
So if you just can read these couple of paragraphs to yourself, you'll be caught up, because before that it's just the title.
Okay.
All right, so if you feel like doing this later because you're interested in this topic, click on the link here and take the self-test. It's just a series of questions about how you react or what your sort of lifestyle, I don't know, natural way of living or being is, and you can see whether you think you might be highly sensitive or not. It's quite an interesting thing to do. Perhaps you're thinking I'm definitely not highly sensitive, but that's also quite interesting because it seems to be quite a difference. So while we were reading these little questions here, like sort of rhetorical really, but was anyone thinking, yes, definitely? Ksenia, you said that you thought you were maybe highly sensitive. Do you feel like you could answer yes to this one?
It's
Yeah?
me.
It's definitely you. She's totally confident. All right, well, we've got, let's carry on reading until we get to point number 1. It's Anna's turn. While recent.
While recently interested in introversion, driven largely by high-profile publications on the subject, including Susan Cain's book Quiet, has brought more awareness to personality traits that value less stimulation and higher sensitivity. Aaron notes that highly sensitive people still tend to be considered the minority. But minority doesn't mean bad. In fact, being highly sensitive carries a multitude of positive characteristics. Read on for some of the commonalities shared by highly sensitive people.
Thank you, Anna. Beautiful reading. Okay, any questions about this section? No? I just want to point out that there's this word here, introversion or introverted. Does anyone want to just explain what they think introverted means?
May I again?
To edit into the life another person.
Sorry, Alas, could you say that again?
When you get into the life the another person.
Oh, sorry, it was Jose, wasn't it? Yes, okay, so into the life of another person. I think introversion is more about yourself, Jose. It's sort of a way of being that directs you inwards instead of outwards. Like, if you imagine a party, you know, there's some people who are really outgoing and chatty and, you know, try to connect with a lot of people, and there's some people who prefer to be a bit more, maybe thoughtful or just not as sort of out there. I think that's what it's really saying with introversion, although it's not the same as being sensitive, apparently. So they're two different things. If you're interested in this, have a look after class about introversion as well. So apparently you can be sensitive, but you could also be an extrovert or an introvert. Any other questions before we carry on? No? All right, awesome. So let's read number 1, and this is for Jose.
Okay, they feel more deeply. One of the hallmark characteristics of highly sensitive people is the ability to feel more deeply than their less sensitive peers. They like to process things on a deep level. Ted Theft, PhD, author of the Highly Sensitive Person Survival Guide and other books on highly sensitive people, tells HuffPost. They're very intuitive and go very deep inside to try to figure things out.
Thank you, Jose. Beautiful. This word here is the only one which I want to check, which is guide.
Okay, guide.
Yeah,
Guide.
exactly. Perfect. Okay, any questions about that point? All right, so I want to carry on and read number 2 because I think 1 and 2 are really kind of deeply connected. So Jose, could you also read number 2 for us?
Okay. They're more emotionally reactive. People who are highly sensitive will react more in a situation. For instance, they will have more empathy and feel more concern for a friend's problems. According to Aaron, they may also have more concern about how another person may be reacting in the face of a negative event.
Beautiful. Thanks, Jose. Okay, any questions about those words? The meaning? No? All right. I'm going to ask Raphael. Could you summarize what these 2 points are saying for us, Raphael, in your own words? Are you there? No? All right, Omar, could you do it?
What's the question? Sorry.
Could you just tell me what you think in your own words about those 2 points? What is the general idea behind those two?
Yes. It's just I think he will explain how the person explain sensitive more. How can I explain? I did not sure.
Don't know?
No.
Just take them one at a time, Omar. So have a look at number 1, and if you can try and explain what do you think number 1 says, and then number 2. What's the main point about number 1?
Okay.
What does it say about the idea of feeling more deeply?
I think the person who's have highly sensitive it could be a introvert. And
Yes.
yes. And I don't know.
Okay, good point. So yes, it mentioned in being introverted at the beginning, but this one's probably more about how deeply highly sensitive people feel things. So it says that they like to process things, they like to think about things a lot. So maybe other people might just go, oh, this has happened, okay, carry on with life. A highly sensitive person might say, oh, wow, this has happened, I'm going to think about this really deeply and all of the ways that it's going to affect me and what might happen next and all of that kind of thing.
Yes.
Can you see that, Omar? Yeah? I know, it's quite tough trying to get through the paragraphs. Let's see if Alaz, could you do number 2 for us? What do you think about this emotional reactivity, Alaz?
I think emotional people care much more than others. So they wanted to do something about what they are thinking important. So care for environment, care for others, care for in need people, and they want to do more things than everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice way of putting it, Alaz. All right, this is interesting because these two are sort of what Ksenia and Anna were saying at the beginning of class. So do either one of you want to just comment? Do you think this is ringing true for you girls? Nope, they're both silent. All right,
I'm sorry,
we'll carry.
can you repeat? It's
You
for
didn't
us question.
understand the question. Is this feeling like it might be true, Ksenia? Are you identifying with this or not really?
Yes, yes, yes. I agree.
All right.
Feel the same.
Okay, so it's a good explanation of how you feel you are.
Yes.
Okay, Anna says, yep, true. Okay, all right, let's carry on reading and see what you think as we go further through. So, Ksenia, could you read number 3 for us, please?
They're probably used to hearing, "Don't take the things so personally," and "Why are you so sensitive?" Depending on the culture, sensitivity can be perceived as an asset of a negative trait, Zev explains. In some of his own research, Zev says that highly sensitive men he interviewed from other countries such as Thailand and India were rarely or never teased, while highly sensitive men he interviewed from North America were frequently or always teased. So a lot of it's very cultural. The same person who is told, "Oh, you are too sensitive," in certain cultures it's considered an asset, he says.
Thank you, Ksenia. Great reading. This one's negative.
Negative.
Yeah. All right, this is an interesting point. If you think about your culture in general, it doesn't really matter whether you think you're sensitive or not here. But do you feel that sensitivity is a valued part of your culture, or is it something that's not really valued? And especially for men, as it says here, maybe you're teased. Anyone want to comment?
I can make an example with two cultures, America and Russia, and I can say that American are more sensitive people than Russian people, for sure.
Okay. Yeah? Why do you say that, Ksenia?
Because I think almost everyone who I know and who lived in America for all their lives, when they saw a sad moment in movie or cartoon, I don't know, they're almost crying. Man, woman, no matter. But in Russia, it's hardly to find a person who will cry on some sad moments in movie or cartoon, especially men.
Wow, is that right? So maybe your culture's in general set up to high sensitivity isn't exactly common or particularly visible, Ksenia.
Yes, I think so.
Interesting. Okay, anyone else want to mention their country? No? All right, let's go on to the next one. And Ksenia, could you continue reading? So sorry about that. It says they there. So they prefer to
exercise solo.
Yeah, and here.
Highly sensitive people may tend to avoid team sports. Rather a sense that everyone is watching their every move, Zev says. In his research, the majority of highly sensitive people he interviewed preferred individual sports, like bicycling, running, and hiking, to group sports. However, this is not a blanket rule. There are some highly sensitive people who may have had parents who provided an understanding and supportive environment that would make it easier for them to participate in group sports, Zev says.
Thank you. Beautiful reading, Ksenia. Okay, any questions?
No.
No? This is a bit of an interesting one because it's so specific. Let's see what Alaz has to say about this. Alaz, are you surprised by this one? Do you have any comments on it?
Yes, I don't actually think so. It seems an investigation, but I don't think it is all true.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a sensitive person, but I also love people,
Mm-hmm.
getting activities with people, sports teams. I like
Yeah.
being in a team.
Yes.
It is not true for me. I'm sensitive, but I'm also social.
Okay.
I don't think so. It is all true for almost every sensitive person.
Yeah, absolutely. So in a way, you agree with what it says here, that it's not a blanket rule. Perhaps you may be more extroverted
Yes.
and you enjoy that side of things despite being sensitive. Awesome. Okay. Let's read number 5. I think this one's rather funny because I'm like this. Omar, could you read this one for us? It's quite long, so just take it slowly.
Okay. It takes longer for them to make decisions. Highly sensitive people are more aware of subtleties and details that could make decisions harder to make. Aaron says even if there is no right or wrong decisions, for example, it's impossible to choose a long flavor of ice cream. Highly sensitive people will still tend to take longer to choose because they are weighing every possible outcome. Aaron's advice for dealing with this: take as long to decide as the situation permits, and ask for more time if you need it and can take it. She writes in recent issue of her comfort zone newsletter. During this time, try pretending for a minute, hour, day, or even week that you have made up your mind and certain way. How does that feel? Often on the other side of decisions of a decisions, things look different, and this gives you a chance to imagine more vividly that you are already there. One exceptions: once a highly sensitive person has come to the conclusion of what is the right decisions to make and what is the wrong decisions to make in a certain situation, he or she will be quick to make that right decisions again in the future.
Well done, Omar. Let's just go through a couple of words that you struggled a little bit with. This one is subtleties.
Subtleties.
Yep, so it's a silent B, so ignore the B,
Yeah.
and it's subtleties.
Subtleties.
Yes, perfect. This one is flavor.
Favor.
And the last one is vividly.
Vividly.
Great, awesome. Okay, so there's a lot to take in there. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I don't know this word.
Which word, Anna?
The first
Subtleties.
one.
Subtleties. Okay, sure. Does anyone know what subtleties means?
Yes, it's word from subtle, so it's very thin and not very, how to say. So it's very subtle and thin things. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? So yes, you're right, Ksenia. It comes from the word subtle. If something is subtle, it's not what?
It's
It's not so
finance.
obvious.
Yes, yes, exactly. Both of those. So it's not obvious. It's really, really gentle or something. It's not immediately apparent. You have to look very carefully to see it. Any other questions?
Yes. Vividly.
Vividly. What does vividly mean?
Picturesque.
Yes, picturesque, yep.
Live,
Clearly,
picturesque.
this
Yep.
means clearly.
Clearly, yes, exactly. It's almost like sort of an opposite to subtle, really. If something's very vivid, it's bright, it's obvious, it's clear. If you have a vivid imagination, it's quite a useful collocation that you imagine things in your mind in full color with lots of images happening and everything very clear and bright. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So let me see, Jose. Could you
Yes.
just explain in your own words what
Okay.
this is
The
about?
people. Okay. The people that they are highly sensitive, they spend more time to take the decision in the right way or in the wrong way. They
Mm-hmm.
spend more time, but when they have taken a decision in the right way, the second time are more the second time the same decision will take more fast than another person that is not a highly sensitive person.
Yep. Thank you, Jose. Great. Was anyone like reading this through and thinking, "Oh my goodness, yes, I can think of an example where I took ages to make a decision and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do"?
Yes, actually, I have a great example because I didn't want to. I didn't want to make a party for my wedding because I didn't want to choose wedding dress, cake, restaurant. So yes, it's about me because I wanted to avoid this torture of choice. So yes.
Okay, how interesting, Ksenia. And what did you end up doing? Did you end up doing it anyway, or did you have a different kind of a wedding?
No, we just put our signature and go for dinner with our parents, and that's all.
Wow, so you managed to have a wedding that was totally suited to you.
Yes, and I love it.
Awesome. Well done. That's very inspiring, Ksenia. All right. This is still part of it, so let's read this one too. Alaz, could you just read number 6 for us?
And on that note, they are more upset if they make a bad or wrong decision. You know that uncomfortable feeling you get after you realize you have made a bad decision? For highly sensitive people, that emotion is amplified because the emotional reactivity is higher, Aaron explains. They are extremely detail-oriented.
Thank you, Alaz. So that's actually the beginning of point number 7, so we'll go to that in just a sec.
Oh.
Has anyone had this experience? They feel like they made the wrong decision and then it was like, oh my god, massive deal. No? Well, that's good. You have, Alaz?
It seems like a highly reactive person character. I don't think I don't behave like this, but I have good emotions for encouraging myself. For example, reading a book, reading a fiction or other books, I feel like I'm excited. I'm all excited about the book. I'm encouraging myself. I'm getting up. I'm also jumping for my what can I say? Excitement.
Jumping with excitement.
Yes.
That's awesome, Alaz. So you really get into a book when you read a book.
Yes. It's not about decision, but doing anything.
Yes, for sure. So you have maybe a strong emotional reaction to different things, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So would you continue, please, just to read this tiny little sentence about being detail-oriented?
Highly sensitive people are the first ones to notice the details in a room, the new shoes that you are wearing, or a change in weather.
Excellent. Um, this is an interesting one. So maybe if you are highly sensitive, you have seemingly a different ability to notice changes than other people, or before other people, possibly. Number 8. Could you read number 8 for us too, Alaz?
Not all highly sensitive people are introverts. In fact, about 30% of highly sensitive people are extroverts, according to Erin. She explains that many times highly sensitive people who are also extroverts grew up in a close-knit community, whether it be a cul-de-sac, small town, or with a parent who worked as a minister or rabbi, and thus would interact with a lot of people.
Great. This is pronounced rabbi.
Rabbi.
Yeah, so that's a Jewish clergy person, a Jewish religious leader. Does anyone have any questions? Do you know what a cul-de-sac is?
Yes, it's an area in suburb where is no way through this area, just a few houses, and
Yes.
you can only turn on your car. You couldn't drive through this street.
Yep, exactly right, Kusenia. Well done. It's like a dead end, basically. You can't leave that road. Once you turn into it, the only way to come out is to turn around. Yep, perfect. So that's what we had mentioned before. Now this is an interesting one because remember you were saying before, Alaz, that you do enjoy team sports. Maybe this is one of the reasons. Who knows? So Anna, could you read this one for us?
Okay. They work well in team environments. Because the highly sensitive people are such deep thinkers, they make valuable workers and members of teams, Aaron says. However, they may be well suited for positions in teams where they don't have to make the final decision. For instance, if a highly sensitive person was part of a medical team, he or she would be valuable in analyzing the pros and cons of a patient having surgery, while someone else would ultimately make the decision about whether that patient would receive the surgery.
Great, thank you. So this one ultimately.
Ultimately,
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, this is interesting, Anna, because I know that you're a dentist, and so I think a lot of your
yes.
job is probably having to decide what is the best course of action for your patients. Do the patients themselves make the decision, or do you?
Depending on the situation, they
Mhm.
they do, and sometimes I do. It depends on the situation, you know. Of course, they cannot decide to have a, a my gosh a, a tooth extracted
Yeah,
if
an
it's not
extraction? Mhm.
if it's not necessary.
Yes.
Okay.
So you make the recommendations and then they decide what to do, I guess.
Yes. No,
Okay.
I would never accept it to do something that is unethical.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's interesting. Does anyone else feel that this is true for them, that they are good at working in a team and that they are able to think about all of the different points of view of certain things?
I think it is true. For example, for myself, I'm not a leader, but I'm good in team. I can do what is needed for me, for my position, for my job, but I can't. In most of the times, I don't decide, but I work for the end, a good end.
Yeah.
It is true for me.
Okay, thanks, Ella. It's interesting. All right, we've got a few more minutes. I think we can read a few more. So, Jose, would you like to do number 10?
Okay. They're more prone to anxiety or depression, but only if they have had a lot of past negative experiences. If you had a fair number of bad experiences, especially early in life, so you don't feel safe in the world or you don't feel secure at home or at school, your nervous system is set to anxious. Aaron says, but that's not to say that all highly sensitive people will go on to have anxiety. And in fact, having a supportive environment can go a long way to protecting against this. Parents of highly sensitive children in particular need to realize these are really great kids, but they need to be handled in the right way. Aaron says you can overprotect them, but you can underprotect them either. You have to differentiate that just right when they're young so they can feel confident and they can do fine.
Great, thanks, Jose. This word here is anxiety. Anxiety. Yeah, quite a
Anxiety.
tricky one. Yeah, so it's like a Z sound with the X there, and then this is the other version of the
Anxious.
word, anxious. Yeah,
Anxious. Okay.
brilliant. Okay, this is an interesting one, because it's a little bit more maybe controversial. Would anyone like to comment? What do you think? Does this sound like it could be true? Do you disagree?
Yes, I think it's true. The people that they are highly sensitive, they are more propense to get a depression.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. It's maybe a slightly negative thing, but I guess it makes sense, really, because if any human feels this when they're younger, then they're going to be more likely to be anxious. But I guess if a highly sensitive person feels it more deeply, then they're more likely to be anxious. It sort of just follows through. However, it's not really a massive thing. I think that even maybe being aware of this could probably help. Thank you, Jose. Ksenia, number 11.
That annoying sound is probably significantly more annoying to a highly sensitive person. While it's hard to say anyone is a fan of annoying noises, highly sensitive people are on a whole more well sensitive to chaos and noise. Chaos and noises because they tend to be more easily overwhelmed and overstimulated by too much activity, Aaron says.
Thanks, Ksenia. This one's pronounced chaos.
Chaos.
Great. And can you continue with violent movies?
Are the worst.
Yeah.
Can you scroll down? Because highly sensitive people are so high in empathy and more easily overstimulated, movies with violence and horror seems may not be their cup. Seems
Yes.
may not be their cup of tea, Aaron says.
Thanks, Ksenia. All right, so we've got a picture separating those two, but maybe they're slightly connected. What do you think, Ksenia? Are you a fan of horror movies?
Actually, I like it. Yes,
Really?
It's not about me. Yes.
So this one doesn't apply to you. Interesting. What about the one about annoying noises?
I hate it. I hate when I don't know. I think it's my problem, big problem. I hate noise.
All right, so you find noise a real problem. How about you? Oh, Anna's gone. Okay, how about any of you guys? Does anyone else in here find annoying noises a problem?
I think all of us
Yeah, this is kind of funny because who likes annoying noises? Well, yeah, that's what it says in here. But I guess think about how much they affect you. Are you able to tune them out? Are you able to like go, oh, that's annoying, and then just sort of try and get on with what you're doing, or do they really, really interrupt your life? Hard to say, really, isn't it? All right, so this has been a bit of an eye-opener for some of you, maybe. Feel free to read the rest of the article and go ahead and have a look at some of the books or the little HSP tests that you can do. If you're interested in finding out more about this, maybe not even for yourself, but maybe for someone in your life, you think, wow, this is kind of interesting. It's quite a fascinating thing. I'm going to let you go now, and if you would like to practice your writing, then come along and join me in the next class, and I will see you there. We're going to write about the future today. So it's lovely seeing you all. Have a really lovely weekend if I don't see you again, and see you next week. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye bye. Yeah,
Bye.
take care.
Thank you. Thank you.